again.
We're back on location with Haley again.
Hey, Haley. We love being with Haley.
Chicago Title.
Yes. And we are talking a little bit more. We kind of touched on a little bit last time we talked about what issues you resolve in reference
Different
to title,
situations.
right?
Right.
Okay, so can we kind of go over those? Because there could
Absolutely.
be surprises on a title. It's sometimes very easy, like when the attorneys pull title.
Yep.
I mean, that phrase, even pull title, they're checking to make sure that there's no problems with the title, no money owed on anything.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of different places that money can
And
come
things
from,
that
right?
you don't expect to pop up could pop up, and that's where you guys come in to make sure it's all clear.
Right?
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
so what kind of things could come up?
Absolutely. So some of the common ones that we see is, a mortgage will be on the property. So that's easy. That's simple.
Okay.
We got to get a payoff letter for that mortgage.
The most common.
That's the one
obviously.
you'll see most
Could
of
be
the
a
time.
mortgage or a second mortgage. If somebody had done something
Yes.
where they've taken out an equity line.
Equity
or something
lines.
like
Yep. Simple things like that. But
that. A HELOC.
yes.
A HELOC, a home equity line of credit. If you
Exactly.
hear that phrase, a HELOC, that means that there's probably two payoffs that need to happen on that property then. It's
Exactly.
not a problem, but we're catching it in advance.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
That's the simple ones like that. You get a little further, taxes being paid,
Real estate taxes.
real estate taxes on the property being paid. You pay those in 2 installments, right? So say, for example, we thought both were paid. Well, we're going to run that search to see, have both really been paid?
Okay.
And we'll make sure. There has been some times that's come up, and a good reason why title insurance is important is, you know what, we paid most of them, but maybe we forgot $1 because we were just typing it in on the computer, right? And we forgot $1. Well, that $1 acquires interest after a while, right? And that dollar is no longer $1, and you get to the table and you're like, oh my gosh, what happened? Where did this come from? And that's what a title company will find that. Or, you know what, maybe this is from years prior and now
Okay.
they want this. Well, this isn't your responsibility. This is now going to come on the title company, and it's
Okay.
something of that.
So something at times could sneak up from a previous owner.
Yep.
And then you're working with the previous title company that closed that to make sure that all of that is resolved so that, let's say we have the buyer, our buyer's not buying into anything that they didn't expect.
Right.
And that's what the title company's doing, is protecting that.
Exactly.
Okay.
How about when work's done on a home? So
Yeah.
that could play into
That's a
it.
big one we have too, is any work being done on this property, we expect waivers to prove that people have been paid.
Yeah.
I'm a seller. I had my roof redone, and you know what? I kind of got into a tiff with that contractor and never paid the rest of their money.
Oh, we've
and
heard
now
that
I'm
happen
yeah,
before.
yeah, it happens all the time. And now we're at the table, and I'm just gonna get rid of this property, and I never
Nobody's
paid.
ever gonna know. Yeah, and that guy doesn't
Somebody
get
will find
paid.
out.
We
Yeah,
know that,
he's gonna
and,
get
and
paid.
you know, we'll see. That person who wasn't paid, they put a lien out on that property. A mechanic's lien is what we call that, and the reason you have us is so we can make sure, hey, you know what? You have to pay this person before you hand it to that buyer, because if I'm the buyer, I'm not going to go back and pay any price for what you've done.
Right.
So those are just some of the more unique ones. I mean, they're out there all the time, and we see it all the time, and the point of what we do is to make sure that anything that's done in the past, whether it may be work, there's a divorce on the property, and now they're getting rid of the property, both parties still have to be in agreement. If they haven't already gone through court and made that decision in court,
Okay.
they both have to be in agreement to sell this
To sell the
property.
property. And you gave us a really good example of some of that. Divorce is good, but then if you purchase the property when you weren't married, and now you are married and someone else lives in the property with you, finish the story.
Yes, if I bought this home and my husband, I got married while in this home, and my husband is not on title, this home is my home, but he's now living in there and has been living in there with me, and I go to sell because we're going to get our own home, he may not be on title, he may not own any part of this home, but he still has to sign to give his property away. Right? Yeah, because he was living in there.
So you can't sell anything out from under someone. All parties really need to be participating
No
in the
surprises
permission.
for anybody. No surprises.
I think that's perfect to say, because that's what ultimately we want, is no surprises at the closing table.
Yeah, we pull all of this information, and you have an attorney do these exams on your specific property to make sure when we get to this table that everything that we found is either cleared, that like I said, a mortgage on the property, we get a payoff for that. Work has been done, we see that we didn't receive a waiver on it, we handle that. So we get
It's
to
been
this
resolved.
closing,
Everything's
exactly.
been resolved.
We get to this closing and you, like we talked about last time, it's that 45 minutes to an hour, we're in, we're out, and everyone's happy.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Title insurance?
from our, and I'm gonna transition just a little bit
Yeah.
in thanking you for all of this information, because Rob and I learned a ton while we were even just sitting here hanging out with Haley talking about all this. But our relationship as real estate agents with our title reps and with the title companies is key. Because there's even been many times where we've had a seller say, or a buyer, can you run title on something, or they've got a question, or something came up where in processing it may be a little bit off. We can always call you.
Absolutely.
And Haley and her team and Chicago Title, you've always been
We've
so,
always been there whenever we needed.
they got our backs, and that's what we absolutely need is our title company
That's it.
reps to have
We
our
all want
back.
to get this closed. We all want what's
That's
best for our customers, and the only way to do that is to have some knowledge and relationships. So
Yeah, because ultimately our job is to bring buyers and sellers together and make sure the transaction happens, right?
that's it. That's
Awesome!
it.
Yay! Love hanging out with Haley.
Glad to be back.
Thanks again.
Thanks, guys.
We'll see you guys next week.